Getting monetized is as easy and as hard as you might think. But the good news is that for most people, they fail because of one of three reasons. Now, there's a spoiler alert. Getting monetized will be anticlimactic if you don't pay close attention to point number three. The main reason why people fail is because they're either too lazy or too cheap. So the good news is that if you're neither of those things, and you pay attention to the third reason, you'll probably succeed. Now, I've watched hundreds of hours of videos explaining how to get monetized, and I'm going to talk you through this one because it is a step by step guide. So pay close attention and listen to the end so that you can have the blueprint for success.
YouTube Shorts, not really a lot of money in it, can help you grow your channel, can get you a ton of views, maybe even some subscribers, but if your goal is YouTube monetization, at least right now, it's not gonna help you. We'll also talk about YouTube live streams and whether that helps you with meeting the watch time requirements and a specific strategy for that, but let's focus on just YouTube channel uploads for now, since YouTube Shorts doesn't help us and YouTube live streams are something we need to dig a little bit more into. Now, in my previous video about getting your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, one of the things we focused on is something called the 1% rule. And here's just the short version of how this works. Typically, this is not 100% of the time, but typically, in order to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, you usually have to get about roughly 100,000 views on YouTube total in order to hit that milestone of 1,000 subscribers.
Now, that's really important because one of the things that I talk about in being lazy is people do not want to put the work in. They don't want to implement some type of data into what they're doing. And this is really important because, contrary to what you may think, nobody cares. There is not some system in place to prevent you from being successful. It's all about algorithms. So if you understand the algorithms, if you understand the math behind what you're doing, you will more likely be more successful. So let's just keep on listening to what he's saying.
And this is important because, as we said, you need 1,000 subscribers to get into the YouTube Partner Program. You also need 4,000 hours of watch time, and your account needs to be more than 30 days old. So those are your basic requirements before you can submit an application to the YouTube Partner Program.
Now, I'm going to make a point about this. So what I would say, even if you're ready to start going all in on YouTube, you should definitely just set up a channel. Just set up a channel, get the channel set up. That way, at least you can get over the hurdle of the amount of time that your channel needs to be in place. The other thing is, there's a lot of stuff happening in the background. So if your channel has not been, if it's a brand new channel, what you will find is it will make it a little bit harder for the algorithms to work in your favor because the algorithms will think that potentially you are just a bot.
Get monetization and start getting paid on YouTube. Now, getting to 100,000 views is our primary target here because that's going to give us the most opportunity in order to get subscribers and to accumulate watch time by people actually caring about and watching our videos and becoming invested in our channel. When you break down 4,000 hours of watch time, it becomes 240,000 minutes of watch time that you need. So almost 250,000 minutes of watch time, 240,000. This number is actually going to be really helpful to us. Knowing that we have to get 100,000 views and then 240,000 minutes is something that sets us up with the perfect formula to actually get to monetization on YouTube.
Now, don't freak out over numbers. Now, I am a mortgage broker, so I deal with numbers and I've been in banking for over 30 years. But for those of you who are not into numbers or might find that daunting, this is what I'm talking about being lazy. Do not be lazy. Do not be put off. He is giving you the formula for success. So don't switch off as soon as you start hearing about math. This is how you're going to make it. You cannot make it on YouTube by accident. So one of the things that I will be talking about in future videos is I'll be talking about a lot of programs and software that you could use to get the data that you need. Now, if you look in the description in the link, you'll see something called vidIQ, VIDIQ. Make sure you check that out. VidIQ is a game changer. It will help you with all of the strategies that are discussed in this video. But let's get back into it.
One of the most important metrics in YouTube analytics that you could be looking at any given time is average view duration, because this helps you realize that people are enjoying your content and lets you see on average how much of your content they're typically watching all the way through. Now, when we look at average view duration and we think about the fact that we're shooting for 240,000 minutes across 100,000 views, it tells us that we need an average view duration of usually between 3 to 4 minutes to absolutely be safe when it comes to meeting these watch time requirements if we can get enough views.
Now, you should probably write that down.
And that's why I said that this video is exactly how to get 4,000 hours of watch time on YouTube, because we are going to break down the math that you need to hit so that you know where the goalpost actually is and you can come up with a plan. I understand that everybody makes different types of content on YouTube across different genres, whether it's tech, beauty, gaming, lifestyle, vlogs, all of it. But this at least helps most people understand what they need to do with their content strategy and the way that they're setting up their videos and the way that they're making their plans to move forward.
Now, he's talked a lot about planning, and there's a saying that people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. You will not be successful on YouTube. You will not be successful in most things that you do if you don't plan. So one of the big mistakes that a lot of people make is they come up with an idea and they're like, oh, I'm just going to go and make a video about it. That's an absolute fail. It's an absolute fail. Because if you don't have an algorithmic reason for making the video, meaning people are searching it, it's something that people are interested in, you're going to struggle to get the views that you need. So make sure that you are planning, whether it be for a video that is entertaining or it's a how-to video, whatever. Make sure that you're planning it through. And as I said, vidIQ will give you ideas of what type of videos people are searching for.
Knowing that you have to hit 3 to 4 minutes of average view duration can help give you a guideline for how long you're going to end up making your videos while you're pursuing this goal. It's also gonna come in handy later, that 240,000 minutes is gonna come in handy later when we talk about live streams and when we talk about StreamYard, but more on that later. There's a question that new YouTubers always ask: how long should my videos be on YouTube? And the typical answer is not a minute longer than they need to be. And that's actually true. However, if your goal specifically is to get monetized as quickly as possible, then I would recommend considering if your videos will fit you making videos that are between 8 and 12 minutes long. And there's a couple of benefits to this.
Now, you've noticed he said 8 to 12 minutes. This is one of the things that you want to drill into. If you look at most of the videos that you probably watch for education or for information, not just the short entertainment top 3 or top 5 videos, but if you look at the ones that you look at for education or to learn how to do things like this video, they are going to be between 8 and 12 minutes. Now, I used to wonder why that is. That's why this video that I'm making for you right now is so valuable, because I'm breaking down a lot of the things that I had questions about. Now, remember, I said that there were 3 reasons why people fail. One is because they're lazy, 2 is because they're cheap. Now, the third one has to do with mindsets. When I do my public speaking engagements, one of the things that I ask at the very beginning is, before Mount Everest was discovered, what was the tallest mountain or the largest mountain in the world? So the question is, before Mount Everest was discovered, what was the largest mountain in the world? And people always say, well, that's a random question. The reason why I asked that question and the answer to that question is, before it was discovered, it was still the largest mountain in the world. Now, why is that important? Now, you might be watching my video when I've just posted it, meaning I don't have that many views. You may be watching it when it has a lot of views, but it doesn't matter how many views I have, because the information is still correct. And one of the mistakes that we make, and this is not just on YouTube monetization, but one of the mistakes that we make in life quite often is we wait until someone's successful to value what they're saying. And the reason why that does not work for YouTube is because YouTube is consistently changing their algorithm. So once people figure it out and start making videos on how to do it and how to hack and crack those algorithms, they change the algorithm. So if you wait until someone's video is blown up, it will be too late. It will be too late. It's just like investing. By the time you see items on the news about what to invest in, what cryptos, whatever, it's probably too late because most of the gains have already happened. So don't have the mindset of only watching videos by these huge people because by the time they've made their money, they're onto something else. And there's nothing wrong with that. But make sure you value videos like this and channels like this where people are doing things that are correct, even though they may not have the following at the point that you watch them.
Number one, when your videos do eventually get monetized, you'll be able to go back and add mid-roll and post-roll ads to your videos on YouTube. Anything over 8 minutes is allowed to have mid-roll ads, which means you would make more money on that content. As long as you're not interrupting the viewer experience and it's not put in a very awkward place, I don't really see a problem with this, as it means that you're getting more money for the effort that you put into your content. And as long as the viewers are okay with it, it's not going to be a problem. So making videos between 8 to 12 minutes makes sense for the long term anyway, even if you don't feel that your first videos are going to be watched all that much in the future, then it still is worth pursuing just because you will get more mileage out of them. Also, this means if people are enjoying that content and it is evergreen content that people can keep coming back to and watching over and over.
I'm going to pause there because he used an expression called evergreen. Now, what they mean by evergreen is something that does not change. A great example of this is anything that's to do with maybe the body. So the body does not change. So if you make a video about how the heart works or how the eye works, that's not going to change. So it means that even when you put the video up, you may not have that many subscribers or followers, or maybe people don't watch that. But something could happen in the news that makes people want to research that particular thing, and your video could blow up then. Now, as a mortgage broker, on my other channel, the channel that I do most of my content on, I do a lot about financial literacy. And the items around financial literacy are core financial literacy subjects that don't change because the way that people build wealth and make money does not change. So if you can come up with something that's evergreen, not something that's just like topical in the news or something that is going to be here today and gone tomorrow, if you can make evergreen content, it's a great strategy. It may not pay off immediately, but as your channel grows and people start to want to find out more about what you have to talk about, they will go back and watch those videos. So make sure you focus on creating evergreen type videos.
Series or anything like that, this is also really helpful. The key thing here is that by having 8 to 12 minute videos, we're more likely to get people to watch about 30 to 50% of them, which puts us in our margins to hit 3 to 4 minutes of average view duration from at least the majority of our viewers. And that is what's going to help us achieve our 240,000 minutes of watch time, aka our 4,000 hours. I told you, this video is really for people who like math. And that's what's going to make this work for you. This is a mathematical formula you can use to make an effective content strategy on YouTube that is going to lead to you getting those first 1,000 subscribers by getting 1% of those views, of those 100,000 views that we're shooting for, to turn into subscribers who hopefully keep coming back and watching your videos. I do need to warn you that subscribers aren't always notified of the videos that you upload, whether they hit the notification bell or not. Some of you may have heard bigger YouTubers complain about this. Do not mistake the idea of having subscribers for the actual number of people you can reach with your YouTube content. It does not work that way, at least not since 2015. Changes are kind of the norm here on YouTube. Don't get comfortable or used to anything, ever. But that's okay, your favorite content.
And that's one of the reasons why I always tell people you need to have a three-pronged strategy. Remember, on YouTube, no matter how big you get, you are subject to their algorithmic changes. So you want to make sure that you have other things in the background. So one of the things that I do is I have a three-prong approach. So I write books. So I have several books. You'll see things on YouTube about how to make money by becoming an author. It's a great strategy, especially if you integrate it into your YouTube strategy. It's a great strategy because when you write a book, it gives you a higher level of credibility. So in some of my other videos, I will talk about writing a book. The other thing that I do is I do public speaking. So all three of these things, the ecosystem that I've created, each thing feeds the other thing. So when I speak at events, quite often I get that speaking engagement because I am a published author. In my books, I talk about my YouTube channel and I talk about public speaking. So they all feed each other, and each one of them independently, if you're willing to do the work, is something that can become a solid side hustle or potentially a full-time business. But don't rely on just YouTube to generate money. As I said at the very beginning, it can be anticlimactic when you are doing really well or you get that one viral video and then nothing else happens after.
Content creators have had to evolve through the same process. Maybe not always the same rules, the same goalpost, but the same shifting sand over and over of YouTube always being something new and fresh to challenge us. Now I know some of you are thinking, well, Roberto, what about live streams? If I live stream for an hour, couldn't I get to that requirement faster? Since we're measuring this by 4,000 hours of watch time, what if I can get hundreds of people to watch my live streams? Well, that's a great tactic, 4,000 hours of watch time. So like I was saying, live streams could be a great tool for you in terms of trying to get to those 4,000 hours of watch time. However, I don't recommend doing this until you are a little higher up on your subscriber goals, maybe around 300 to 500 subscribers.
Now I'm going to pause it there because for me, I've kind of tweaked that strategy. What I've done is because I'm a mortgage broker and I have a solid product and service that I can talk about on a live stream, I've set up weekly live streams. And the way that I promote it is to my current customers and future clients. So I talk about financial things. I talk about how to get a mortgage. I talk about things to avoid. For me, it doesn't matter if I have 10 people watching or 15 people or 1,000 people, because I am actually trying to directly speak to people that will be future clients. And as a mortgage broker, if I get a client and I'm able to add value to them and help them, I can potentially help them get into their new home and I'll make money off that. So my live streams, because of the specific niche that I'm in, I don't think that it makes sense for me to wait until I have thousands of people. And the other thing that it does for me in my specific niche is I'm educating those people in advance of them contacting me. And because I've built out a great strategy using sales funnels, and you guys need to check out Russell Brunson, that information will be in the link as well. Because I've built out a great strategy, I educate people, and the people that find value in what I'm talking about actually then contact me, that I can talk to them about a mortgage, and it cuts off some of the time around building credibility, explaining things, because they're coming to me educated and understanding what I do, how I do it, how much my fees are, etc. So for some people, do not wait until you have 300 to 500 subscribers to start doing live streams. Maybe it can be the other way around. Maybe by continually doing these live streams, that's how you will build up to the 300 to 500 subscribers. Now that won't work for everybody, but in my niche and for what I'm doing, that's the strategy that I'm using.
This actually becomes a viable strategy. In my mind, your goal should be to try to get 100 people onto a live stream that's gonna be about 1 hour to 90 minutes. And the reason that I have for this is that means you know that you're gonna get about 100 hours of watch time from one piece of content. And when we're looking at 4,000 hours of watch time, that may not sound like a lot, but let's think about it. If you manage to do 10 live streams, let's say you started doing a live stream once a week for the community that you're building. Let's say that you are on your way to those 1,000 subscribers and maybe you've started to build a community in Discord, or you have people who follow you in other social media platforms and they would like to be part of a live experience, or they invite friends, or they share out your stream. Or maybe somebody that's larger in the community actually ends up plugging your stream, or you have them on as a guest and then they're bringing their audience with them. Well, if you can get 100 people watching your live stream
This
and
is
they stay
collaboration.
on for an hour, when that live stream goes public on your channel, you're gonna have 100 hours of watch time.
That's really good. And I talk a lot about collaboration. One of the books that I've written is Business Networking for Startups and Side Hustlers. Collaboration is key. What you don't want to do is always be competing against other people that are a similar size or a little bit larger than you or a little bit smaller than you. Why not collaborate? Why not do joint ventures where you invite all of your audience, they invite all of their audience, and everybody wins? Don't think of them as your competition. Think of them as people you can work with. But what I would also add, don't allow people to just use your platform for their purposes. Okay. So what I do is I have a weekly podcast and I have minimum criteria for the people that I invite on my podcast. So one of the minimum criteria for me is they have to have at least 1,000 followers or connections on LinkedIn. You guys should check me out on LinkedIn as well, because that's where I spend a lot of my time and energy, and that's part of my ecosystem. But the other criteria that I have for people is they have to be active on social media. So what I want to do is invite them onto my show to give them a platform to my audience whilst they're exposing me to their audience, and we're all winning. So collaboration. And also I would say if someone invites you to be on a podcast and your first question is, well, how many followers do you have? Maybe you're thinking about it the wrong way, because quite often a podcast that somebody else is doing is going to give you an opportunity to get some content. So they should give you permission to use some of the content from the podcast on your platform. And now you have some quality edited content that somebody else did all the work and you can utilize to build your channel.
If you manage to do this once a week and you were doing it for 10 weeks, that's 1,000 hours of watch time right there. That's 1/4 of the goal that you have in terms of getting monetized as a small YouTuber and starting to earn from ad revenue. But not only that, you've started to build an audience that will want to support you and might donate in terms of super chats once you do get monetized. For those of you who don't know, part of the way the YouTube Partner Program works is that once you're monetized on YouTube, you get splits on ad revenue, and that's a 55-45 split, with you getting 55% as the content creator. But what you may not realize is that when you do live streams, people can donate directly to you through what are called super chats, and you actually keep 70% of that, and YouTube only takes 30%. Again, you might feel iffy about that. Why is it they're taking 30%? But if you were on Twitch as a live streamer, they'd be taking 50%. So this is actually a fantastic deal when you look at it. And it's a great opportunity. By doing live streams with your community early on, as long as you can get a loyal viewership on those live streams, you're conditioning an audience that shows up for you specifically and is the most likely to want to support you, not just with their eyeballs, but with their wallets. So this could be extremely lucrative in the future to get your audience used to you doing live streams. Since you're trying to monetize, I assume that that's something that would be important to you. Remember, you also get channel memberships now at 1,000 subscribers, which means people could decide to support your content monthly and maybe decide to kick in $5 a month for your exclusive content, or just for some perks that you give to the community, or just to support you because they like your content.
Now, one of the things that you want to think about with that is adding value. So everything that I do is with the undercurrent of making sure that I add value. I'm not here to pitch and sell and put you in these random sales funnels. I'm here to add value, because I know if I add value to you, you will listen to my videos, you'll watch my videos, you'll listen to my podcast, you'll read my books by adding value to you. So I think if you're here to just make money and you're not looking to add value, you're probably not going to watch very many of my videos because I talk a lot about adding value. And what you will find is money is the reward for adding value. The more value you add, the more you will generate. I want to stress to you again, make sure you check out Russell Brunson. Make sure you learn about sales funnels because sales funnels, when used properly, are the glue that bring everything together. They bring social media marketing together, YouTube, KDP, which is book publishing, public speaking. They bring them all together because one of the things that Russell Brunson talks about in all of his books, and you can download them for free, one of the things that he talks about is psychology and why people buy and why these viral videos, thumbnails do well. So make sure that you're adding value. You're not just looking to get people to subscribe to your channel because probably you'll find that they won't if you're not adding value to them.
And once again, YouTube takes 30% of this and you, the creator, keep 70%. So this is something important, and I really hope nobody's skipping over this part because it's something that people don't consider beyond ad revenue. Ad revenue is just one of the ways that you can monetize a YouTube channel. And it goes well beyond just getting super chats and memberships or even merchandise that you can sell directly to your audience on top of the ad revenue. There are so many ways to monetize YouTube, and you don't have to wait until you're in the YouTube Partner Program. Something I talk about a lot on this channel since we talk about making money online as a content creator. We talk about the creator economy and the industry here. Do not get caught up in the AdSense.
Do not get caught up in the AdSense. One of the ways that you can make money from day one and add value to your clients is with affiliate links. So you'll see in my post in the description below that I have affiliate links. Now, affiliate links are a great way to add value as well as make money from day one. Now, the people that I have in my description for the affiliate links are companies and products and services that I use regularly. So the top one is AppSumo. Check out AppSumo. The link is below. AppSumo is a great platform for business owners who don't want to keep paying monthly subscriptions. So you may be on a limited budget or you may just want to save money, which everybody should. With AppSumo, you can purchase software and purchase apps that are at a lifetime subscription. So that means you only pay it once. Now, I will say I've been using AppSumo for at least 9 years. Some of the products that I use, like the one that I'm using for this stream, I got on AppSumo like maybe 6 years ago. It cost me $49 and I don't pay monthly fee. And every single year it's just gotten better and better and better and better. But I'm not paying those monthly fees. And this is what I was talking about being cheap. Some people are so cheap, they only want to use the free versions of things. And so they don't get the true benefit from it. So when you check out the link below, I use Publer for my social media. I use Wave.video for my streaming. I use a lot of other products that are listed below. Check them out. But if you go to AppSumo and check it out regularly, you'll find some great apps. And the other great thing about AppSumo is they have a money back guarantee. So if you get something and it's not fit for purpose or it's not working the way that you want it to work, within the first 30 days, you can get a refund. So AppSumo will save you money. Don't be cheap. If you want to be on YouTube and make money, it will take an investment, but you can be wise about how you spend your money. You don't need to sign up for things and subscribe to things because before you know it, that $9.99 a month with that other $9.99 a month with that $6.99 a month, before you know it, you're spending a lot of money each month. Now, if it's generating money for you, then spend the money. But if it's not generating money for you, or if there's ways of just paying a one-time lifetime subscription like you can on AppSumo, then you should definitely consider that.
It often ends up being about 1/10 of a penny per view. But going back to this idea of live streams, I really think that this is an underestimated strategy, but I've told you how to do it the best way that I know how. Doing it when you know that you have an audience that will show up for you and knowing that you're not broadcasting to 0 people. The other good thing about StreamYard with the multicasting is that frankly, the live viewing experience on YouTube is superior to the other platforms. However, The notification system might be better on some other platforms for letting people know that you're live in the first place. So this is something you can use to your advantage. And that's why I think it's actually really powerful to do. I also think that by having other creators, maybe people in your niche that are just slightly bigger than you or even the same size, could be great because then you can pool your audiences and you can grow together. A high tide raises all ships. These people aren't your competitors, more like your comrades, or in theory, you could even think of them as your colleagues.
That's what I was saying earlier. Make sure that you collaborate, make sure you're adding value to them and that they're adding value to you.
240,000 minutes of watch time is not impossible. It can be done, and it can be done right now. It just isn't going to happen overnight. That YouTube Shorts don't count toward your watch time for monetization. It'll count toward the whole channel's cumulative watch time, but it won't count toward the qualified watch time for YouTube monetization.
Now, what you want to make sure that you're doing is focusing on the things that are going to get you across the line. So if you truly want to get monetized and truly want to make money, you need to check out and follow the tips in this video because this is the step-by-step guide on how to get monetized. And I also am sharing with you some other hints and tips on going beyond just getting monetized, but building a bulletproof system that once monetized, regardless of what happens with the algorithms, you'll be able to continually make money. So you'll make money off writing a book, you'll make money off public speaking, and each one of those will feed each other part of your ecosystem.
I know that that can be confusing. So it's only videos that are public, not videos that are private, not videos that are unlisted, and not live streams that haven't ended. So if you're doing 24/7 live streams, that's not really a strategy to be able to accumulate the watch time you need. Maybe it gets you exposure, maybe it gets you subs, but it's not going to help you on the 4,000 hours of watch time. Not one bit. And of course, the same it goes for YouTube Shorts. Now, for those of you who are going to ask in the comments, like the 5 of you, yes, premieres do count toward the cumulative watch time once the premiere is over, as long as you make the video public. So as long as the video is public, it counts toward your watch time hours. It just can't be unlisted or private or still an ongoing stream. Also, videos you delete do not count toward your public watch time hours. That should be common sense, but I just wanted to cover it. So now I think I've covered everything you need to know in terms of exactly how to get 4,000 hours of watch time on YouTube so you qualify for YouTube monetization.
I really appreciate this guy simply because he's given us a full breakdown on how to get monetized. But if you are too lazy or if you're too cheap to invest the time and resources, it won't happen. And this doesn't just apply to YouTube. This applies to any aspect of running your business. Now, I will continue to make videos and I'll make shorter ones and longer ones. The key is to give you the information and share the mistakes that I've made. Over the past couple of years, I've started and stopped and started and stopped on this whole YouTube thing. I had a video that I placed on one of my channels where I placed it there and forgot about it. This was about 7 years ago on the recording of this video, and it ended up with 886,000 views without me doing anything. Now, that's not going to happen regularly. That's a fluke. But because I wasn't doing the other things and I hadn't planned things out, that channel still isn't monetized. So have a plan, make sure you listen, make sure you're not lazy, make sure that you are willing to invest the time and money. It takes planning and dedication, but this can become a full-time business for you. You can do YouTube full time. At this point, I love what I do. I work in finance and I'm able to help get people into new homes. So I have different channels for different things, but this channel and these videos are dedicated to getting you up and running and starting, getting monetized, making money. And if it is your goal and desire, I want to help you make YouTube and your side hustle your full-time job. Thanks for listening.